G'day and welcome to the second public beta test of the survival update. Last time I had a general look at some of the updates or some of the things that are coming with the update. This time I want to look more specifically at the NPCs. That little speck you can see that's getting gradually larger right now is one of the encounters, so it's one of the derelict ships. Every now and then it will blip on our radar like so, with a space pirate mayday signal, and then that will go away. If you're paying enough attention, you can usually identify where these things are and go and hunt them down. At the moment it seems like there might be a few too many of them, as it's incredibly easy to find them, well, to end up with multiples of them if you're playing survival, as I did that earlier and I found that I was able to pick up enough resources from these things to not really have to do any sort of other collection of items. I didn't have to mine, I didn't have to do anything like that. The only thing I really did have to mine was ice. Everything else, I virtually got the components I needed from these derelict ships. Saying that though, some of the derelict ships are armed, and some of them have some pretty cool traps set up on them, like doors that malfunction and things like that, and I really quite like exploring them. And we'll have a look at this one. This one seems to be a relatively simple one. Some of the others I found were multiple fragments of a ship that looked like it had been exploded or had run into something nasty. Whereas this one looks a bit simpler. Oh, and there's some of our other AI content, which is pretty much the same as it used to be. We'll go and explore that in a second. That's a space pirate private sail, which is a ship I have pirated many times in the past, that you can often manage to pirate with just your suit, or at least you used to be able to. We'll see how that goes these days. One of the other things I'm going to take a look at in this video is the Never Surrender scenario, which I played through with Kapak, one of my friends, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of challenge, but it was a lot of fun, so we'll get to that toward the end of the video. Now, where can we enter this ship? I have never seen this encounter before, by the way, so I'm going to have to figure this out as we go. So let's crack this door. I don't know what I just ground off before I cracked the door. And up through this one. This wreck seems to be mostly inert, which is interesting. So you can see the scale of this thing. You would really be set for quite some time if you manage to acquire one of these vessels early on. I suppose there's the argument that if you were playing multiplayer, these things would be competitively... Ooh, there's a dead engineer there out there. That's cool. That's really cool. If you're playing multiplayer, you might have people competing over these things. But in single player, it ends up being quite easy. I do love that the dead engineer is in here though. This looks like it might be like intended to look like a quarters. And the door got jammed open. Ooh. Pirates. Oh, that's cool. Pirate stash beacon, pirate stash satellite. Let's go check that out. So this is the sort of exploration content that's been added, and I really like it. I think they've done a great job of adding some extra stuff. Sadly, at the moment, as far as I can tell, it is only in space though. Despite that, it does give me some hope for the future though, because if we're getting more space content of the NPC variety, fingers crossed, over time we'll start seeing more in the other environments, like on the moons and on the planets as well. I might be being a bit of a dreamer there, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed on that one anyway. So here we go, here's our little satellite that's spawned. I should probably not crash into it. I'm not going to explore too many of the different things, because I kind of want everyone to experience this for themselves a little bit. Half of the fun. Oh, there's a sensor, that's worrisome. I heard a sensor ding. Ooh, extra tier tools. That's quite awesome. Oh, the sensors detached this thing. Huh. So now that we've seen that the exploration encounters have been substantially improved, let's have a look at the cargo ships. The cargo ships don't seem to have undergone much in the way of change themselves. There are some new designs, which is awesome, but the actual mechanics seem to be about the same. It's a ship that's set on a trajectory and just keeps gradually moving through space until you interact with it. If you don't interact with it, it'll despawn after a certain amount of time. One of the things the cargo ships have been able to do for quite some time is that when you get close enough, they will actually switch on an antenna which will call for assistance. And if you have drones enabled on your world, it will spawn drones. What I'm hoping to see, we'll find out if it actually happens, is that when I go close enough to the private sail, it will spawn one of the new drones. And some of these new drones are really, really cool because they can use fixed weaponry. I've got a plan in mind just in case it doesn't happen, but let's find out. Yep, I'm taking fire from the turrets, but I'm not seeing any calls for help. Oh, yes I am. Requesting assist. Oh, whoops. It's requesting assistance. Let's see what happens. And there's an assailant coming in. Now the assailants, they're also something that would be familiar to anyone who's played with drones on in Space Engineers before. These things, and I'm just going to quickly make myself invulnerable. That was the Alt F10 menu I used to do that. So that I can get in close to this thing and it doesn't destroy my little ship. So this is the assailant. It's your stock standard drone with a little turret on it, and it's controlled by a script on one of the programmable blocks that's on board. What I've got here in front of me is an assailant that I have removed all the thrusters from, and I have removed the gyroscope from. It's still got its turret, so it can still shoot at me. But what I wanted to show was the script that's in this programmable block that controls the basic behavior that the drone has. That's important, because now we're going to jump into the Never Surrender scenario and have a look at the drones there. And here I have one of the Space Pirate drones. This thing will turn to shoot me with its fixed weapon, and then it will shoot me with it. I've got myself invulnerable, so it won't be able to harm me. So while this drone is facing us, let's have a look inside its console. So inside this drone, we have our remote control. We don't have a programmable block. Normally on drones, there is a programmable block that runs a script that allows them to behave in the way they do. So the simple behaviors in the current vanilla drones are they will approach the player, try and hang around the player, and when they lose their weapons, they will retreat from the player and return to their spawn location. This thing doesn't actually have any at all. It's just got its remote control and a text panel. It's got a warhead, which is interesting. So it's obviously got some sort of self-destruct, which is cool. But it's still managing complex behaviors without a programmable block. I'm curious if this is part of the scenario, as in if the scenario's programming is actually what's giving it these abilities. So I've blueprinted the drone and we'll take it into a regular survival scenario. And here we go, back in our old survival scenario, and plop, and the drone is still working, which is very good news. This suggests that there is some other behavior or some other mechanism that's being used to be able to make this thing work, which is incredibly cool. So what I'd like to try and do is see if I can get this thing to work in a way that allows us to take advantage of whichever block it is that's allowing this control to happen. I'm assuming there's some extra functionality. And this suggests that it's correct, that there's some extra functionality added to the remote control. Something is giving it these new waypoints because it is being currently told to strafe so that it can keep shooting me. So what I've got here is the remote control with a new gyroscope and a new battery attached to it. This is the remote control from that drone. And if we have a look, as I move around, it tracks me, which tells me that we should be able to make our own drones with the same behaviors just by taking the remote controls out of these new drones that have been made, which is really cool because I'm not clever enough to write the scripts to do these things, and now I can do them with vanilla blocks. I'm pretty confident that you have to have a special remote control and that it's not a default one that's in the menu here to get this behavior. So this may be the easiest way to get access to it, by taking one of these drones from one of the scenarios and then just using that remote control in a ship of your own designing. But it is very, very cool that we can do this. And I am very, very excited about the possibilities here. Okay, here's something interesting. I've got that same remote control attached to a bunch of atmospheric thrusters. Let's see if this thing handles planets. Okay, it has some trouble with gravity. has a fair bit of trouble with gravity. Okay, that's interesting. So we can't use these remotes on planetary-based drones just yet, even though it's a little disappointing that that test ended so horribly. In fact, let's give it a bit more altitude and see what happens. Okay, it definitely doesn't like gravity. Okay, that's good to know. It can't cope. Fair enough. So, although this doesn't work in gravity, it does work in space, and we've got much better NPC content in space. So I think now is the time to have a look at that stuff in action. So let's jump across to Capac and I attempting to survive in the Never Surrender scenario, because it was a whole lot of fun.
What are we doing?
So now that you've joined me, Capac, I really don't understand.
Whoa!
Oh great, you're stuck to me. You've literally joined me.
Oh no!
Your Mac boots are stuck to my face. Get them off my face.
I'm having trouble moving.
We need to do a little bit of prep and then head towards space base. In fact, stuff the prep. Let's just go straight to space base and see what happens.
Where are we going?
To space base.
Space base?
Yeah, there's space base in front of us. Can you not see that marker?
No.
Interesting.
I can see a planet over there and a sun, and I can see some asteroids.
Well, that's something to note. So I'm directly hosting this on my PC as opposed to on a server or anything like that. And it appears that Capac cannot see the marker for space base, which is where we've got to go and defend. Oh, wave in 4 minutes.
4 minutes? I don't even have any defenses.
Yeah, hopefully.
Whoa! You almost clipped my head on an asteroid.
Oh, there's some turrets there that are half built. Having some half-built turrets sounds awesome until you realise that I left progression on, so we can't even build them yet. So I set about trying to build an assembler so that we could actually repair those turrets, while Capac took control of the fighter.
So if you build an assembler, does that count as me building an assembler? Or do
it's supposed to. Apparently they have made it faction-wide now.
Oh no! 29 seconds.
Okay, we're going to have to mine some rock.
Alright, you do that. I will attempt to defend us.
I'm going to try and make enough computers that I can build that assembler and get the gun up. Guess this is the fun of going in completely blind to something. Oh, they're all here. There are 2 tusks and a blue drone.
What's a tusk? What's a blue drone?
I don't know.
What should I shoot first?
One of them?
There you go, blow up a blue drone.
Good job.
You happy now?
Happier.
Oh, I think... Is that still alive? Whoa, yep, it's still alive.
Okay, I'm just cowering inside for now. And now with wave 1 complete, and mostly victorious thanks to Capac's shooting, I got a little bit tempted by some nearby cargo ships. I'm going to ditch everything that's valuable, and I'm going to go after that private sale. If it's anything like they used to be, I should be able to get it just in my person.
But we've got enemies coming in 2 minutes.
Yeah, but if I can get this, I'll get some more ammo and guns.
Interior plates.
Oh, getting shot at, getting shot at, getting shot at. Ah, nuts. I got really close. I approached it from the wrong direction though. I think it's got a blind spot. Oh, 28 seconds.
I need computers. I need ammo. What ammo did the interior turrets use?
They use the rifle ammo. And I made some computers that should be in the thing. In the little cargo storage.
The ammo's in a different container.
Yeah, you have to move it.
I don't know where it won't move because the pipes are all broken.
It's out on. It's outside the ammo container.
Ah! Don't kill me. I'm getting heaps of ammo. Oh, I might be able to make a turret on my fighter.
Oh yeah, that'd be useful. Hey Capac, can you come over to me and give me a hand here?
What?
For a second?
Give you a hand with what?
This tusk.
What's the issue?
I can't get to the other side of it where I need to be able to turn its gyros off.
Oh.
Because it keeps trying to turn away from me. And I just want to get at it. But I think if it's focused on me, you should be able to get to that other side. Anything in there?
Yep, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
But is there anything that generates power? Or a gyroscope?
There's a bunch of reactors.
Or do you want to just... Whoa!
What was that?
Something exploded at our base.
Oh no! That'll be fine. What the...
So just grind down the reactors to non-functional.
It might be easier said than done. It looks like there's quite a few of them. And it keeps moving. Whoa, something's shooting.
You see that?
Yeah, it's just a bit of shrapnel flying around.
That's a big piece of shrapnel.
It's one of the guys I blasted before. It's been sort of pottering around in circles for a little while now.
Right.
Oh no, I just had an idea and now I can't remember what it was.
Coming in 30 seconds.
Oh jeez, get back in my fighter, that's my idea. What's shooting? Ah! What? I just got blown up.
By what?
I don't know.
Oh no! I'm out of energy! I forgot to recharge. Where's the base? Nope, that's not the base. Ow! I'm dying! Oops.
Wave 3 incoming. Oh, it's coming from the planet.
Ooh, I just survived. Oh man. Are you having any luck with fighting them?
Uh-oh, I'm about to very much not have luck fighting them.
Why did your marker just disappear?
Because I flew away. That's not my biggest problem.
What's your biggest problem?
My Gatling gun is out of ammo. This is all going very poorly.
Yep. Oh, jeez.
Oh!
Whoa, was that you?
Yep.
Nice hit.
What? I didn't hit anything. I flew past. I need ammo.
No, something exploded right in front of me, and it was something enemy.
Yeah, that is true. Oh no, it's taking out the guns. No! No, the gun is down.
No, don't you
Both the guns are
chase
down.
me.
Give me that ammo.
Ow! I was taking out one of the blue drones and one of the other ones got me.
Ow! Yeah, I just got shot. I think
it's the
this is
spur.
it. I think this is the end. Oh! Oh, the base is full of holes.
Yep. Okay, took one of the turrets off the spur. Ow, got cooked by a thruster. Okay, the spur's deactivated. Whoa! Oh, I'm getting them to shoot each other.
What?
I'm getting the drones to shoot each other. If I hide behind one, it'll shoot the one that's in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah! This is totally working.
What's still alive?
It'll shoot through its friends to get at me. The blue drone. Okay, we got a proper assembler. I've unlocked more blocks so we can make turrets now.
Okay.
Proper turrets.
Right, we got a big old gun on the top.
Has it got ammunition in it?
It's got 13 cases at the moment.
Okay, that's enough. Don't put more in it, because if they get destroyed, then we've lost them. Come on. Oh yeah.
Oh, they're coming
Hit
in.
on the drone. One down. Oh no, reloading! Bad time for reload. Come on. Oh no, the turret's down.
Oh, that didn't take long.
I got two of the drones before it got shot down though.
Oh, this thing's firing missiles.
Whoa! How did I not die? Oh no, our batteries are about to go. Come on, shoot each other again.
Why am I not hitting this thing?
Whoa.
Oh man. Oh, our base is a shambles.
Yep, they did a lot of damage to our batteries. I don't think they're going to withstand much more.
What do we do?
We keep trying to build up stuff like that turret you did. That helped us a lot.
But it exploded. It's not even there anymore.
Yeah, so you'll have to rebuild it.
I didn't build it in the first place. It was mostly there already.
Yeah, so build a new one. We've unlocked that tech. You'll be fine.
I don't know if we've got enough bits.
How is worrying about that going to help you find out? I get the impression I'm enjoying this a lot more than you.
It's very stressful.
Yeah, I'm liking that. It's awesome having something that's a real challenge.
Well, it could be a real challenge and not be 2 minutes away from killing me.
Yeah, but we've made this a lot harder for ourselves than we needed to, because we just came in completely blind and didn't do any prep whatsoever. Doing this again, I'd absolutely go and build up a few bits and pieces before I went to...
I don't have enough grids to make a turret.
So come out here to one of the wrecks and grind down some reactors. You'll get 2 metal grids from each small reactor.
Oh well, it was nice knowing everybody.
What would you do differently next time to try and help us prepare better, Kabak?
I would ask the robots politely to leave us alone while we build things.
But what... Like, if we gave ourselves, say, a few minutes to prepare, what do you reckon would be most useful?
Guns?
Like, I think if you're going to do this scenario, you really need to have unlocked the blocks before you get here.
Yeah, that would probably help.
I think that'd be a big, helpful start. And
bullets would probably be good, since this turret doesn't
at least
really have any bullets.
Yeah, and at least bring some of your own weapons along to the fight, so that you're not just relying on rebuilding the ones that are currently here. It is fun to use them to shoot each other, though. I quite liked that tactic.
Yeah, I think it's a little limited in its scope, though.
Yeah, it's still fun, though. Hiding behind one of the others while they shoot each other out. It's great. So what do you think of the new drones, Kabak?
Whoa! One of them just blew up in my face, that's what I think. Well...
Nickel, eh?
This is the end.
Did you die?
Yep.
Oh. Oh, jeez. That's a lot of gunfire. Oh, right, you can't respawn. The survival kit's dead.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, this is the this is the last round. Blaze of Glory.
That's right, I'll just go on a space adventure.
Oh.
I don't think I'm gonna make it in time, though.
I died. That was a bit of fun. Should we try that again? With a bit more prep time this time.
What? You want to do it again?
You don't? Even though we totally failed, and I mean miserably failed, I think we made it up to about the 5th wave. I had a great deal of fun playing with that scenario. The Never Surrender scenario is just a really nice challenge mode that I'm quite happy has been brought into vanilla Space Engineers. You could sort of create one with some of the mods out there, particularly ones like the Corrupt and Reavers. You could just have yourself being overwhelmed by drones. But it's great to see that Keen are taking on some of that NPC content. And I am closing in on another random encounter that doesn't actually say Mayday. So I'm wondering if this is a trap. We are 800 meters away. Probably should start slowing down. Oh, there's a turret on top. Oh, and it's live. Yep, such a trap. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, it's good to know that there are at least a few traps out there for unwary players, that you might actually end up coming up against something you're really not prepared for when you go with those encounters. To say I'm excited for this update is an understatement. I'm really, really hopeful for the PvE content that seems to be coming and that Keen seem to be happy to actually bring to the party now. While this video was all about the NPCs and the Never Surrender scenario, there have been a whole lot of other changes that were made that improved things from the previous test. Number one being that you don't get a crash anymore when you copy paste a windmill, or a wind turbine I should say. but there's also been some balance adjustments to things like the hydrogen engine. I don't recall whether this is from this version or the previous, but I've noticed that we now need fewer power cells for large grid batteries. We need fewer solar cells for solar panels, full stop, both on small and large grid. To my mind, I would kind of hope that we get a bit more power balance in the energy systems, because I'd really like things to be set up in such a way that it would encourage the use of hydrogen refuel depots. So if you have a vehicle that's got a hydrogen engine, it'd be great if it was more efficient or significantly more beneficial to be able to pop a connector on the back, lock onto the base, fill up your tanks on board and fill up the engine on board, and then get going with that fuel, and then have to come back rather than having onboard O2 H2 generators. My thinking on this would be basically that the hydrogen fuel, because we can move it on board the ship so quickly, becomes a quicker form of recharging than the current batteries. So batteries have their benefits in that you don't need to have refuel depots as close, you can use solar panels to recharge them, but then hydrogen power would have its benefit in that you can refill your tanks in just a few moments, whereas batteries are quite a slow trickle charge. So if you want to keep using them, you need to wait around while it gets charged, or basically have multiple ships, whereas the hydrogen wouldn't have that disadvantage. So you'd have still a reason to use both. And I think that's a really important thing. I feel like it's important for both sides of the power divide to be relevant. It was the same as how I felt like the wind turbines in the first test were well overpowered, in that you really would never ever consider using solar power where you had wind available, at least for a static base, because the solar power just could not compete. And I think they've brought them a little bit closer, but again, my preference is always towards survival being really, really hard, so I always lean that way. And I know that's not for everyone, but I would prefer a bit more of a push to make wind less effective so that solar has a real role again, other than its current role, which is power when you don't have reactors or don't have easy access to hydrogen outside of an atmosphere, which is a fairly limited use case. So to sum that up more quickly, it would be that I want all of these things to be balanced for gameplay, to kind of direct our engineering to be a real choice. So where we want to use this thing, it'll be because it has this benefit, as opposed to I want to use this thing because it's just plain better. After the last video, I got a lot of comments asking when you can play this test. This latest test has ended. I believe Keen have mentioned more, possibly. So keep an eye on their social media stuff, and hopefully you'll see the news page for when the next one is potentially going to go up, or even when the update properly goes live. I'm very much looking forward to having another crack at the Never Surrender scenario. So there's all that, and plenty more to come, and I will see you then.